Yo, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to a brand new marathon series that I'm doing. It's kind of similar to the how I play solo, but as you can see from the title, I've decided to change it to a starting from scratch, zero to hero, whatever you want to call it. All of the vault that you currently see now will be going away, and I will be doing that right now, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, we are back, and I have sold everything in my vault. As you can see, there's still some things at the bottom going at the moment of the things I sold. Just want to give a little brief background into why I'm kind of like changing up my how to play and doing a zero to hero instead. One of my friends I played volleyball with, he was super into marathon, but he basically told me he kind of stopped playing the game because he felt like the game was super heavy PvP based, and every time he would decide to get on the game and play, it would just be 2 to 3 raids of him getting absolutely smashed and then getting off the game. He couldn't build up any momentum, he couldn't get anything going, and he just felt like he really liked the game. He really liked the way it felt. He really liked he was a Destiny player. He really enjoyed the aspects of the game, the and just the atmosphere of it. But at the end of the day, what he didn't enjoy is hopping on the game and just consistently dying. Shout out to Dylan, by the way, that's his name. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to start a zero to hero challenge with, of course, I do have some credits, but the rules around these credits will be one, I can only use the credits on ammo, consumables, and schemas, aka the little blueprints that you get out of the raid. The schemas are these things on the right. Let me show you in your armory. Whenever you pull a schema out of a raid, you will be able to then buy a limited amount of it with credits. And that being said, let me just go ahead and buy these because we don't want to start with any. Okay, so we have sold all of our schematics now. We no longer have any schematics. We will be going with the today sponsored free kit, of course. I won't be going this because not everybody would have this unlocked. So again, we're just going to be going with the regular basic free kit for our first run. And again, this is gonna, I hope this series shows you how you can snowball and how whatever your playstyle is, you can take some of these universal tips, apply it to your gameplay, and hopefully just be successful when you play marathon and achieve your goals. The first tip I'm going to be giving like basically a tip like this at the beginning of every video. I did it in my my one episode solo series, and I really like doing this. But something you want to pay attention to, in my previous video I talked about, you want to pay attention to these stats on the left side. But another one is what I want to talk about is your faction quest, and that's something that even I have struggled with as a solo player, is doing the faction quest and like what faction quest basically I should be prioritizing, what I should be leveling, and things like that. As you can see, like I said, I'm a heavy PvP player. So if you're doing heavy PvP, even if you aren't necessarily doing the contracts, your arc rank is going to go up. And as you can see, mine is the highest because that is how I've gotten a lot of my gear, which is through PvP. Um, and as you can see, I've kind of failed to level the rest of these up as they should, which we will be working on. And again, use this as an example to set your own goals, see where you want to go with each faction, what you should be prioritizing. But the main thing that I want to talk about are the faction quests. Listen, these main quests that are on some of these factions, especially as a solo, sometimes they are just not worth the time doing. Okay, sometimes it is just better to re-roll what you have on the right and just go for the smaller ones and do those so you can build up the rank for that faction. Now, these do have a limited amount of re-rolls on them, and they are weekly resets. So you get basically 10 re-rolls, I believe. Yes, you get 10 re-rolls a week. That's it. And once you've done those re-rolls, you do not have any more re-rolls. You can't re-roll until the end of that cycle. After you've re-rolled 10 times, it'll start a timer and you can't re-roll for a little bit. So you do want to keep that in mind when you're doing these right quests. But again, sometimes these left quests, especially as a solo player, they're just a little bit difficult. You know what I mean? If you want to go for them, some of them I would suggest just rocking a free kit, seeing you can get it done. But then some of them, again, you can't even do it with a free kit because you're having to, fight UESC commander. You're having to move a long time or go far places around the map, and a free kit is just not going to do that for you. Again, in the future, we'll get to how you're able to do those and do those things. But without further ado, let's go ahead, hop into the gameplay. We're going to be hopping into perimeter. First run, of course, first map. Ranked has just came out as well. We're not going to be doing that. We're just going to be hopping into regular perimeter. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. Let's get it. So something I do want to note as we're loading in. Hold on, let me get my speech at the beginning. I love the little speech we get. Let's let the speech happen. Where's my speech? I'm not getting a speech?
Engaging affirmation protocol. Assert. Every reset refines your potential. Assert. You are optimized for success.
Thank you. I need my speech to get going. All right. So first things first. Let's say you're just starting out marathon, right? First very big tip is you can click on the POIs and see what type of loot is at the POIs and see what you're looking for. As you can see, I have already some things tracked. So I will most likely be focusing South Relay and Overflow. Right now, I'm going to be going to South Relay because I want to focus my contract. And I think the storage drives are part of that contract, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look. It may be North Relay that we need. We may need these. Well, let me see. Let's see. What does it say? Nope. So we need storage drives. So, yep, we will be headed to South Relay, which is right next to us. All right. So if you're just starting, you're running the free kit. I actually suck with this gun, so this is going to be perfect. The main advice I can give you is don't sprint. Just don't. It's not worth it. And what I mean by that is, if you're struggling, if you're constantly dying, think about how many of the deaths you have died because you have been caught off guard, whether because you're sprinting or somebody was sitting in a corner and you didn't see them. Most of the time, it's because you're taking it maybe a little bit too quickly. Don't forget, at the end of the day, Marathon is an extraction shooter. And I know sometimes when you're watching streamers and other content creators, they're moving just so quick and so fast, and you think you need to replicate their gameplay in order to be able to play like that and be that good, when in the case, that's not going to happen because they're playing 12 plus or 8 plus hours a day, and you're getting on and playing 3 to 4. You know, it's very different in how you play the game versus how they play the game. So that's something you immediately want to take attention to. The other thing is sound, of course. As you can hear, we hear an alarm going off. That is at another POI. That is not at this one. That means there's an event going on. Somebody's doing a supply drop. Somebody's doing something like that. What I want to know, where we're at the current POI, is this door is open. It looks like somebody is currently here. Yep. I can hear the door. Yep, there they go. As you can see, I suck with this gun, and I'm dead. There we go. All right. First run done. Free kit. That's how it goes. On to the next one. Alrighty. We're back. Let's give it another shot. I'm glad you got to see me get shit on because that's how it's going to go. You're going to miss shots. Where's my speech?
UESC
there we go.
Confirmed. Execute with strategic intent.
I love it. Alrighty. So, same plan. All right. We're going to be going to South Relay or Overflow because that is the materials I need in order to complete my quest, and also materials I need to trade in for heals. I'm glad you got to see that death because, again, that's just how it's going to go. I don't like semi-automatic guns. I expect to die a lot with this gun, to be honest with you. The only 3 types of guns I use in Marathon are snipers, SMGs, and shotguns. That's all I use. So me using this hardline PR, I never use the semi-automatic guns. It's going to be a little difficult. And if you watch me play Apex, I know that sounds crazy because I used to love the G7. But I just haven't really found any semi-automatic guns I really like that in this game. And again, I'm also not playing the game 8 plus hours a day, so I've decided to hone in on really the 3 guns that I want to look for. It helps me loot. It helps me prioritize my loot. It helps me prioritize when I'm trying to get out. And that's really leads me to my next main point, which is when you get in these raids, you want to set 3 objectives. Those 3 objectives are in this order. 1, the faction quest. If you're trying to level your faction quest, you're trying to get something unlocked, Objective A is completing your faction quest. You're not always going to be able to complete Objective A. These raids are all different. Some raids you'll be easily able to do it. Other raids, it'll feel like it's just not going to happen. That's why you need a second objective. That second objective could be looting certain materials so you can trade in for consumables. Looting certain things so you can trade in for guns. Things like that, right? And then objective C, your third objective, is simply just getting out of that raid alive. Sometimes when you spawn in, you're going to get a POI right at, somebody just did a supply drop, you're going to get a POI right at the, you're going to get an extraction right at the POI that you spawned at. Sometimes you just want to take advantage of that, reset with what you got, and get out. That's just how it's going to go sometimes. Now, that being said, I am currently in the POI, so we're going to switch to a little bit more in-game analysis here, because last time I died, I wasn't focused. So yeah, but again, that's just some of the important things you want to notice. Whenever I go into a POI, I always look for signs if somebody else has been in here first. I take it slow, no sprinting. I hate sprinting and then just dying to somebody with a shotgun, or worse, dying to somebody in a corner with a knife. We're going to be looting very important materials here that we need, again, to complete the faction quest, but also we're currently looking out for certain materials that are going to allow us to build up some of the things we need. All right, I'm currently not hearing anything but the rain or the UESC, so I may be the only one here. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that. So again, this kind of goes back to my point of, I know what guns I want to use, and I know what I want to go for. At the moment, I'm grabbing any cores, even if it's not my class, because at the end of the day, they're empty slots and I could just sell them and they're not going in my backpack. But any attachments, anything that goes on a gun that you don't use, or guns that you don't use, stop looking at the value so much and trying to get it out, and worry more about the things that you feel like you're actually going to use. The things that sell automatically into credits and the consumables. So basically how I put it in the tier list is, I focused on, one, the things that I'm going to be using. That's one. So like any weapon chips, any weapons that I use, anything like that, that's what I prioritize. Two, I then prioritize the things that give me raw credits that I don't have to sell a weapon to get the raw credits. And then three, the last thing I like to prioritize is, somebody's here, let me take care of them and then we'll continue this. Okay, it looks like they went in that building. Yeah, they're shooting at them in there. Okay, let's see what we can do here. He's got a pretty strong gun. I think that's a sniper. All right, I'm gonna do the strat. And yep. So that's one of the things I don't like about the game, but you gotta get used to it, man. The knife is very strong, like I said. I mean, I just talked about it. You don't want to sprint around because somebody can just have a knife and do that to you. And even if you're not sprinting around, you can fall victim to the knife just like that guy did. And I'm pretty sure he's very annoyed by it. I would be too. I've died plenty of times to that. And it's just something you just got to be ready for. He had a blue shield. He did everything he could. He shot me correctly, and it did not matter because the knife is just super strong. And some people actually have melee builds where they can two-knife you even if you have a blue shield. And it's just one of those things you need to be ready for. I'm going to take this assassin core because that's what I need. I'm also going to take the cash flow because I'd rather have that. Again, same thing with the cores, same things with the implants. You want to focus things that you know you're going to use. These are not worth that much credits. If I press C, by the way, if you press C, you can show item value / show item type. I actually have decided to do item type because I don't want to focus on the amount of credits it's worth. I want to focus on if it's useful to me. That's how I do implants, cores. That's how I loot everything now, is I don't necessarily worry about the credits. I let the consumables be the credits, and I let the gear be things that I am going to prioritize and use. Alrighty, so we now have a gun that we feel comfortable with, of course, being the bully. We're going to heal up all the way. I should have done that immediately, but of course I was talking. Now, there is a secure event here, all right? But I just got a blue shield, right? I just got a blue shield. This is very important. I'm starting from 0. I just got a blue shield. I would like to take this out, right? I would like to get this out because it's important that I get this out. Now, here's how we are going to kind of analyze the situation here. I would like to get out with this blue shield. I don't have a blue shield. I'm starting from 0. But I also notice all the exfils are on this side of the map. So if I want to exfil, I would have to run across the map to exfil. I don't want to do that, okay? Like I said, sometimes there's going to be an exfil right next to you. Sometimes it's going to be all the way across the map. So I am going to use that to my advantage. I am actually now going to do the secure crate because I believe anybody who's gotten a kill early and they want to exfil. Is that my own movement? I think that was my own movement that was tripping me out. Basically, anybody that wants to that got a kill just like I did and they want to exfil immediately, they're going to be rushing to the other side of the map, and I want to keep that in mind. And after I've killed that guy, I don't see anybody trying to third party or anything like that. So yeah, I am going to go ahead and attempt this event. Now, it actually sounds like I just heard somebody to my left, so I'm going to go and focus that. Somebody is definitely here. They are not moving.
Zone status. Command approved operation only.
Now we're taking wide angles here because, again, I don't want to get knifed. I know he's over here somewhere, but the location is unknown. I believe he is in this building waiting for close contact. So, how do we go and how do we manage this situation, right? We know there's a guy in here. We started the event, and he wants us to get in here and be in close proximity. Why? Because he's either going to knife us or he has a shotgun. So how are we going to handle this? Well, this is how I'm going to handle it. I am playing Assassin, so I'm going to press F, go invisible, check my corners. Now, I swear I heard someone. And I think you guys heard them too. And I think they're being really, really sneaky. Really sneaky. So I'm going to actually step back a little bit. They could have eventually got back there because they heard me. But I don't think so. I think they're being sneaky, trying to sneak around and possibly get the upper advantage on me while I'm doing the event, because they did hear me activate the event. So with that knowledge, and also with time against us and me wanting to do this event, just gonna move around a little bit. Also, if you notice how I was jumping right there when I went across the large area, if you don't know, of course, if you're jumping, you're a harder target to hit, but also when you're just jumping, aka B-hopping on mouse and keyboard, even if you're on controller, just jumping takes more space, you're harder to shoot, and it's less stamina. So I recommend, basically what happens is you start sprinting, and then you basically are just jumping, right? And that gets you further, farther, and you're a harder target to hit. Just like that. So I'm going to start this event, right? Now here's the secret. I feel like somebody is around, right? So we are constantly going to be prioritizing them over the event currently. It's going to be a little hard. It's a large area. You don't want to draw out the event because it could bring other people. But at the end of the day, if you die, what's the point, right? All right, good amount of AI has spawned. We're going to go actually do the same strat that guy did before. I don't see somebody pulling up. I don't hear that other guy moving now that I've started the event. We're going to go in this garage, come to the back, because this is one of the best places to do this event, and shoot from here. Am I lagging? It's just constantly reloading at 6. That was weird. It wasn't going past 6. Okay. I know some of you may be clinching, but I'm pretty used to the AI. I know how they work. I know my limitations, how I can kill them, how I'm using my heals. The main thing I'm worried about is another player, not the other AIs, to be honest with you. See, as you can see, I came into this corner, they backed up. I just know from time, playing the game, how the AIs work. If I come to this corner, they're going to start backing up because they're just not programmed to go after somebody there. So now I get a little bit more space. And I come back and do it again. By the way, I went for the commander first because if you go for the commander first, you won't face as many reinforcements if you take down the commander. Now that all that's done, we're just going to sit here for a second. Just, you know, get our bearings together, reload, see if we hear any footsteps, see if we hear anybody trying to third party. Just go from there. We'll be taking that. I like those. Go ahead and use this. Something I always just do, this is kind of, you see people do this in other extraction shooters, but I don't see many people taking advantage of it in Marathon. If there's a consumable on an AI and you're not going to take it with you and it's white, just use it then. Seriously, like you're just leaving it there. You could have it on you. You never know what's going to happen in the next 30 seconds. Or if it's an important consumable, like maybe a mechanic thing or a virus that you may want to keep, you can keep it. That's just something I like to do. I see a lot of people go on AI bodies, see consumables, and then like they just pass them up, when in reality, that is a buff you're just leaving on the ground that could be on you. Simple as that. You don't have to think about it any deeper. You don't have to, like, it's a buff that you're leaving on the ground. Simple. Again, I'm just kind of waiting. We are not in a rush. There are a lot of bodies out there. I want to loot them all, but I also don't want to die while I'm just looting. And the whole point of this is sometimes people can get impatient and then they push. You know, if somebody's been here this whole time, they've been seeing me do this event, they're going to see that I'm not pushing out, I'm not getting the loot, and they may get a little impatient. They see the timer up there, and they just, you know, they'll get impatient. Use the time on your side. So now I feel pretty comfortable, like I said. Both extractions are actually still over there. So if they're going to extract, which they should be doing, they're going to be headed towards that direction, and I am on the complete opposite side of the map. So I feel pretty safe. So now I'm going to go kind of see what's in here, all of these. I'm going to go ahead and actually pop the signal jammer, like I said. So now what's going to happen is if somebody does start shooting at me, it'll just be a little bit harder while I'm looting than them to shoot at me. I also have my get out of jail free card, which is my F. But yeah. That's a bot. Alrighty. So we've gotten that. Let's loot the main thing. Oh, we've got a green shield in here. Awesome. Now, here's when things get special. So you see this gun in here, right? You're just starting to play the game. You see this gun in here, and you go, I have to take this gun. Right? Let's just say that you're thinking that you're motive, and you're like, I have to take this gun. It looks good. Okay, that's another commander out there. Yeah, that's another commander out there. That's fine. He has his clone shooting. We're actually gonna fight that commander so we can get his loot. Because again, we don't have extractions on this side, so you know, I'm kind of low-key just waiting for somebody to take those other extractions so I can get an extraction on this side of the map. Now, sometimes that doesn't happen. Keep in mind, that is not like a guaranteed what I just said. Sometimes it doesn't happen. And you have to go across the map for the extraction. Commander's in there. How can you tell which one is the commander? The commander is always the one shooting at you. His clones shoot in random places. The commander is always going to be aiming for you. Commander down. Now, if you notice, during this entire fight, I have been looting the smaller heals, and I have been using those instead of my big heals. So now I'll use this green one, and I'm not using my blue ones. Why am I not using my blue ones? I want to save my blue ones for if I get into a PvP engagement or I think a player is coming, because those are going to heal me quicker than the weaker heals. Alright, let's go ahead and put down these ammo crates that I have. I have 3 of them. Go ahead and grab both of these because I have a light and another commander? Oh, that's the same. No, I killed the commander over there, so there was 2. Okay. Interesting. Let's see what he's got for me. Okay. Not interested. Don't use any of that. Is that a matter fixative? Okay. So I always like to carry 1 matter fixative normally until towards the end of the raid when I know I have my set gear, because you never know what you may need the matter fixative for. Most of the time, commanders do drop them. As you can see, there's 2 here. And you just like to, you know, keep those just in case you get an item that you really like and it has that, you know, that symbol that says basically the only way you can take it out of the raid is if you have the matter fixative. If you don't have the matter fixative, then it's just going to disappear once you get towards the end of the raid. I don't think I'm going to have any of those items, so I'm going to go ahead and drop it, pick up the storage drive, because that's the whole reason we're here. Now, again, the faction quest was Objective A, and as you can see, I haven't even completed Objective A. Now I'm going to try and complete Objective A. And I think there's a storage drive here that I can pick up. Nope, that is actually Last Resort. Not interested in that. I need a storage drive. Are the storage drives? They're here, right? Yeah, South Relay. They're here. I was afraid they may be North Relay. So we see now the extractions have changed. We have one at Overflow. There's 3 minutes left. That is the one I am going to be going for after I get my storage drive, wherever it could be. We may not complete it. Okay. Take that. Now, something I'm not doing because I just don't have enough time at the moment. I normally like to pick up all of the different guns and check the chip mods, but again, I have my objective A. That's what I'm most worried about at the moment. I would like to complete this faction quest, so my next run I can do a different one. Doesn't look like I may find one though. Okay, we're gonna spend a little bit more time looking for one. I know how long it takes to reach 300 meters, so I should be good. Worst case scenario, because I'm assassin, I can also take the guarded exfil. Now, what you want to do is, okay, so there's reinforcements coming. I'm going to check kind of this last place, and then because there's reinforcements here, I don't want to get involved with them, so we are going to be leaving. I'm going to check over here at this container that I did loot earlier, and if it's not here, then it's just not here. Yep, it's not here. Oh well. Cannot complete it. Cannot complete objective A. Goes like that sometimes. Take the consumables so I can get the money. And now we're going to head towards the exfil. And as you can see, I have been picking up the small heals and keeping the big heals. You want to prioritize using the white depleted heals because those will not come out with you in the raid. So if you're fighting PvE and you want to save the heals, save better heals for future raids, always prioritize using the lower tier heals so you can save the bigger heals for PvP engagements and just being able to take them out of the raid, you know, and take them in the bigger raids when you have better stuff. So yeah, we're headed to this exfil site. We're gonna go ahead. We will get there in time. No worries. Not worried. We have plenty of time to get there. All we have to do is activate it before that 130 mark so it doesn't go away, and it'll be activated, and we just have to wait for it. I guess I'll go ahead and throw that out there. You do not, for exfils, as long as you activate it before the top marker reaches 0, it will not go away. Once it goes away, there is a final exfil on the map that pops up, and that is the only place you can exfil, and you have a minute to get there no matter where you're at in the map. It will be the same place on the same map every time. I'm not too sure about Cryo Archive or Ranked. Haven't played those yet. But basically how it goes is it'll be in the same place. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to activate this. And then I'm going to go to a little hiding spot. So a lot of people like to hide under here. I vary it a little bit. Because some people do like to camp extract. So I like to come here. And when I come here, most of the time people come through there and they're looking, you know, because they have to check all of that. They're not looking this way. I have the peeker's advantage because once they pass this threshold, they're going to be looking that way, and I normally will get the heads up on them. So what I'm going to do now is, to prepare for that, I'm going to actually go ahead and switch to my better heals just in case I get into a gunfight and I need to utilize that. We are not worried about the timer at the top left anymore because our extraction has its own timer, and we've activated it. So we're going to sit here and wait. Don't worry about that. That's not important. As you can see, now you hear that sound that just came up. That tells you that your extraction is ready. It normally takes about 40 seconds after you hit it. And then you know your extraction is ready. But basically what happens is it does this big circle after about 35, 40 seconds. And then once you get into it, you have a 10-second countdown. And if you get out of the circle within that 10-second countdown and you go back into it, it reactivates the 10 seconds basically. But yeah, that's the first raid. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Well, I don't know how I'm going to be doing these videos in the future. We'll see by the comments, see how you guys like this style, this progression, because I don't want to make the videos too long at the moment. But yeah, man, just again, let me know how you enjoyed the video in the comments. Let me know if what I talked about helped you in any type of way. And yeah, the last thing I do want to say, kind of like I picked up the BR33. I told you at the beginning, I don't like the semi-automatics in this game, so I immediately knew I wanted to drop the semi-automatic for that BR33 rifle. Even if I don't use a BR33 rifle, it is worth more than the semi-automatic weapon, and I would rather use that than the semi-auto. So that's kind of that thought process. But again, man, much appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to hit that like button, comment below, tell me anything you would like to see in the series, anything you need help with, and again, hit that sub button if you happen to be new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.